Dear Bat Codex, today I played Sterling Archer Telltale series and it was kinda meh. I didn't feel strongly against it or strongly favorably for it, and I've played a bunch of Telltale games before. My favorite is Walking Dead Season 1, though Borderlands and Wolf Among Us would be really close. I tried to play Batman as it came out, but it was the first game Telltale produced which was above my system requirements at the time, and I don't really know why. Aside from action scenes, it looked pretty much the same. There is still those goofy facial expressions here and there.
I got it! Wait! Do not shoot!
The address, now.
No. Give me the drive.
Animation of walking is just laughable.
People don't walk like that.
What?
No, just walk like yourself.
Watch this.
I gotta go.
And there is always some weird glitchy stuff going on the background, which felt more prevalent than before. As if Bruce was inside simulation, which CPU was overloaded and struggling to create believable environment. Regardless, those technical problems would be really easy to overlook if the story was good, but unfortunately it took itself way too seriously for what it actually was, and at the same time managed somehow to be unintentionally awkward and silly.
Old families like ours should flock together, you know, like birds.
Take Alfred for example, he's a living dispenser of cheesy one-liners.
Old men worry, that's all. It's our gift and our curse.
I can't get it out of my head.
That is your gift and your curse. I hate to admit it, but everyone smells smoke. A fire is heading this way.
The guy's exhausting.
Well, after the press conference tomorrow, I'll mark your calendar as exhausted then. It's a criminal grand slam, if I'm using the expression correctly.
Unfortunately, you are.
You assume the persona of a bat, but you're not an animal.
Go to hell.
I'm already there, Bruce. Right alongside you.
Face slashed. Throat torn open.
So, not natural causes then?
I did like Batman costume, it was really easy to adapt. I think the idea of holographic lenses worked better than simple eye holes and makeup would have. Also, there is artificial eyelids and angry eyebrows that can relate emotion. I don't know how it could possibly work, but I'm glad it was there, it actually fitted well. And Troy Baker, that hidden gem, that little known voice actor, did a great job once again.
Dent took out the warehouse with the drugs, the location that I gave to you.
Are you accusing me of something, Batman? Just say it. Come on! Let's hear it!
People got hurt on your watch.
Yeah, and I was almost one of them. In case you didn't notice the gun to my face. I can't believe you're gonna lay this on me now. God!
Jim?
So I think as far as portrayal of Batman goes, it was alright. Thing is, when it comes to villains, which are much more relatable and interesting in the Batman franchise than Batman himself, are terrible here. One of them, Carmine Falcone, try to imagine very stereotypical leader of Italian mafiosi and basically you got it. Important choices with him are pretty top notch, like will you shake hands with him, or will you rub his cue stick like a little bitch, or will you let Harvey Dent into a room? Oh boy, what a riot of choices here. The implied importance of all of that looked ridiculous. I want a slow-mo and intense soundtrack every time Bruce decides with which finger he prefers to pick his nose. By the end of first episode, Falcone is basically dispatched by a rocket drone, which blew up a hole in a wall. I don't know why Batman been beating up identical looking goons to get to this room, when he could have just done that, but whatever.
Well, the Waynes are the biggest gangsters in Gotham.
So in this universe, Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father, was involved in crime. I actually like that spin on the story, makes more sense why Waynes grew so rich and gives Bruce a more conflicting past. So in the next episode, Bruce decides to go to the alley where his parents were killed. Oh wow, never saw that before. Another one to the pile. In the same scene, Bruce realizes he has a blocked memory.
I can recall
every moment of that night in vivid detail. But maybe that's wrong.
And then unblocks it by just thinking really, really hard about it.
Don't walk away. He's making a mistake.
The thing his father said so many years ago just so happened to help his immediate problems. What a coincidence. So Bruce thinks Falcone killed his parents and goes to police station, which also has medical equipment for life support. Falcone says he wasn't the one who did it, and then this happens.
You can't trust anyone in Gotham. Least of all those you call friend. Your parents looked that.
They're waiting for you in hell!
Yep, drugged ninja cop popped out of nowhere. Next antagonist, Oswald Cobblepot, also known as the Penguin. Here he's a skinny guy with British accent and a trench coat. Also he's a childhood friend of Bruce who just came back from London to...
A revolution is knocking on Gotham's door, and I'm here to let it in.
Apparently he's supposed to be intimidating, since Catwoman in one scene is so scared she would rather die than face the wrath of this slimy weasel.
He goes by Penguin.
Penguin? Shit. Ugh, you've got to be kidding me. You should have just killed me on that rooftop. I'm dead anyway.
That's how you know someone is intimidating, when the other character overdramatically tells you they are. By the way, what she was so scared about turned out to be a bunch of goons with pocket knives and metal pipes. He had the potential of being an entertaining character who would lighten up the mood and counter Batman's seriousness, but there was barely any humor packed in him, and by the middle of the game it was revealed that he was just a henchman of the main villain. I like the moment when the shareholders of Wayne Enterprises just fired Bruce Wayne from his own company.
You're being asked to step down from your position as CEO. Effective immediately.
Yeah, apparently they can do that. Imagine firing, I don't know, Elon Musk from SpaceX or Bezos from Amazon for something their father did many years ago. But not only that, they put Oswald on his place. A guy who showed up a day ago, nobody really knows about him. He just has this really good resume that he can just become a head of the biggest company in Gotham. Come on, such a cheap turn just to create more drama without actually developing anything properly. And when it all ended, when Batman beat up Oswald and he got to jail, they just gave the job back to Bruce without any explanation, even though the reason why he was fired was still unresolved.
With Penguin gone and my CEO access restored, I can finally log into Wayne Enterprises.
He's still a son of Thomas Wayne, who pumped an innocent woman with crazy juice, Mrs. Cobblepot, and put her in Arkham Asylum. Following their own logic, they should have hired somebody else. They still need
a new face.
And speaking of faces, next villain, Harvey Dent, the Two-Face. Actually, I liked him much more than any other villain in this game. Probably because he had much more time to develop. He was a friend of Bruce. We had a lot of interactions. I was very nice to Harvey. I was basically babysitting him the entire time. In fact, I was so good to him, he didn't burn half of his face. And that was really awkward because the whole game I've been anticipating and waiting when this moment is actually going to happen, when he actually becomes this iconic Two-Face. I wish of all choices that mattered, saving Harvey instead of Selina didn't. And yeah, there is more to Two-Face than just his face, but it's very defining feature of him. I don't know, why would you let part of your audience not experience that? It's like, imagine Telltale adapting Peter Pan and then by the end of it, Captain Hook has two hands intact. This is my biggest grudge with this character. I guess his descent into madness could have been more gradual, but by the end of it, at least I felt something when he, in the last scene, executing judging people by flipping a coin. He's so attached to it, if you take it away, he completely breaks down. Actually, I had a better solution, but the game gave me game over.
Maybe you can remember me the way I was before.
Yes, do it.
Before him.
Oh, the brows. Can I allow it? Oops. This is going to be fail. Oh, come on. So all I want to say, it wasn't a completely hollow experience, which brings us to Lady Arkham, the main villain, and she was really bland. She's a brand new antagonist, unique to Telltale, but based on a pre-existing character, Vicky Vale, the reporter. It works to strengthen the twist, much less people would suspect a known character to be a threat, and I'm completely fine with that. Even though I liked portrayal of Vicky Vale, this honest reporter, I'd say go wild, change characters as you want, subvert expectations, do whatever necessary as so long as it's good. So with creative freedom to make a new villain while not being burdened by character history, what do we have? White, featureless mask, a robe with nothing your eyes can latch onto, and very generic villain speech with altered voice which almost sounds like a parody.
I doubt, brothers and sisters of Gotham, you have nothing to fear. We are the children of Arkham. We are here to end the masquerade and expose the corruption that ruined your city. For too long, men like your esteemed mayor have profited from the pain.
It looks ridiculous. I like how she's perfectly self-aware about how trashy it all sounds, but still spats it out anyway.
It was a lot of posturing and grandiose monologuing, really. We're going to purge the city of corruption, sort of thing. Not great from an investigative standpoint, but the public will eat it up.
The twist in the middle of the game when she finally reveals her true identity is surprising, but it wasn't good because nothing leads to it, there's no foreshadowing. You can't look back and say, oh, there were clues scattered all around and I didn't see them. What's even more strange, in the same episode as the reveal, as Vicky Vale, she gives Batman an address of Lady Arkham's base of operation. He goes there and stops her from executing a terrorist attack on hundreds of people she planned with the drug that she got from the first episode. Why would she do that? Why would she jeopardize her own plan? It doesn't make any sense. You send protagonist into a trap or a random place nobody knows about, not to your own base, when he can potentially ruin everything you've been working for who knows how long. Throughout the game, it is revealed that she has a troubled past. Her mom and dad been put into Arkham Asylum by Thomas Wayne, her foster parents been beating her up and torturing her in a basement. It should, in theory, make you feel bad for her, sympathize, make you feel conflicted. But honestly, I couldn't care less. I don't know how you can relate to the character who is so hysterical, angry and crazed all the time. Just constantly on one note.
We're fighting the same fight, Batman! Can you see that? We want the same things!
Well done, Mr. Powers. We're not so different, you and I.
Oh yeah, by the end of the game, this Skyrim kid drops you under Arkham Asylum and there is a dungeon there. As if already she didn't look like somebody who's 100% prepared for hardcore D&D match. How this dungeon appeared here, I don't know. It wasn't mentioned anywhere before or after. It exists so characters could slam each other into pillars and dramatically the whole place would crumble. And so we could have some weird, out-of-place, angelic symbolism for no reason. Also, there was a Joker who appeared for a short time. I can't say if I like him or not. He is really good at acting like a complete crazy man, but I can't say he was charming or funny. Even though so far I've been pretty critical about the whole thing, overall it's a passable experience. Occasionally I've been shaking my head and laughing at a lot of silly stuff. But at the end of the day, it's interactable story format which I very much enjoy, and it was short. I went through episodes pretty fast, and it's nothing to compare to like Styx's story or Borderlands 3's story. I wasn't suffering or anything, I just was hoping for something with a little bit more heart and effort. It took me 8 hours to finish, and I give Batman Telltale series 50 out of 100.